Now, what is Google Colab for Python? To be precise, Colab is a free Jupyter Notebook environment that runs entirely in the cloud. Most importantly, it does not require a setup, and the notebooks that you create can be simultaneously edited by your team members, no? Just the way you edit documents in your Google Docs. Okay? Now, say for example, you have Jupyter Notebook, you would quickly learn to use Google Colab. And there's a lot of things that Google Colab can offer, no? As a programmer, you can perform the following. You can write and execute code in Python, document your code that supports mathematical equations, create, upload, and share notebooks. You can also import, save notebooks from and to Google Drive. You can import or even publish notebooks from GitHub. You can import external datasets, like for example, coming from Kaggle, and you can integrate PyTorch, TensorFlow, Keras, and even OpenCV. Now, best of all, this is actually a free cloud service with free GPU. Now, the first thing that you have to do is, of course, you open your browser and then go to Google Colab, that research.google.com, and then you have to make sure that you have an account on Google. And then once you open, of course, you will be seeing your previous files, and then you can actually create a new IPYNB notebook. Okay, so to start with, we have to import our libraries, of course. It's import pandas as PD, of course. And then you have to take note of this one, from google.colab import files. And then uploaded equals to files dot upload, and then open and close parenthesis. And then we need to specify a certain variable. Let's say, for example, bank, okay, equals to, and then we need to read the CSV file. So, say for example, you're looking for another type of file, you need to indicate particularly what it is. No, so in here, in our case, that's pd.read underscore CSV, and then open and close, and then we will be reading the bank dash additional .csv file, and then we need to delimit, because since this is a CSV file, there is an option as well that we can be able to delimit the datas, no, or the data, using a semicolon. Okay, so let's run. So here, Google will actually ask you to choose a file or files, okay, and then you need to locate the particular data set or file that you need to upload. So in my case, let me just search my files here. Okay. Okay, there you go. Bank dash additional. Then open. And then as you can see, you will be uploading your CSV file on Google. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do, of course, is we need to check the shape of the file or the data set. So that's 4119 and then 21. Okay. And then next, we need to import the required packages. So import numpy as np, and then we will be using sklearn. So import numpy as np, and then from sklearn that model underscore selection, and then import train underscore test split. Okay, because in this activity we're going to split our data set, no, into a training dataset and a test dataset. Okay? So here we need to collect proportion values in our data frame. So all you have to do is just follow what I'm going to type. I think on top of the collecting proportion values, no, we need to create first the partition. Okay, so that would be bank underscore train and then bank underscore test because that's the partitions that we're going to create coming from the train underscore test underscore split command. Okay, and then that will be from the bank dataset, which has a test size of 0.25 with a random state of 7. Okay, I think that's we need to do first. Okay. All right, so once we're done, we would be able to see the partitions. So we have the training dataset and we have the test dataset, as you can see there, based on our bar chart. Okay, so let me just add some cells. And then the next is we need to identify the total number of records in the training dataset and how many records in the training dataset have yes for a response variable value. Okay. And then we need to print the total number of records in the training dataset, okay, by following this command. And then afterwards, we will be using our answer from the previous lines, coming from the previous lines, to be able to calculate how many yes response records we need to resample in order to have a 20% of the rebalanced data set, which have yes response values. So here we're going to create variables needed to compute resampled record size. Let me just check the code. Okay. I think we need to put a line underneath to determine the portion size to resample. So we're going to type open and close parenthesis 0.2 multiplied by total underscore records minus yes underscore records divided by 0.8. To perform the rebalancing described in the previous lines and confirm that 20% of the records in the rebalanced data set have a yes response value, we're going to type in the following command so that we may be able to see the subset, okay, subset of records to be resampled. So let me just put first 2 underscore resample equals to bank underscore train dot lock bank train y equals to yes, and then our underscore resample equals to underscore resample that sample and 350 replace equals true, and then bank underscore train underscore rebal equals to pd dot concat, and then bank train, and then our resample. So the following lines are actually, the first one is to create a subset of records to be resampled, and then the third line is resample the yes records to be able to determine the sample size, which is 350, and then finally concatenate the sampled data with the rest of the training data so that it is rebalanced. And then finally we'll just have to check the shape of the bank underscore train underscore rebal. Okay, so this should be 3,439 and then 21. So that's it. Then finally, to rename your file, your .ipynb file, all you have to do is just go to the untitled and then change the file name. So for example, sample.ipynb, and then you can also download the file by going to download and then selecting the particular type of extension. Okay, so that's it.